Dan, I don't know if you know about this, but there's obviously a podcast going on. Currently, it's got a few names, mainly based on gains, yeah?
Yep.
And everybody in life wants gains, whether it's personal or business or work. Everyone wants, in my opinion, to do better, wants to go further and ultimately level up.
Yeah.
Being a tradesman and being a very good tradesman at that, we wanted to get you involved in TradeGains.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody listening or watching, myself and Dan worked with each other at British Gas. When I first met Dan, he wasn't the nicest of men to me. Dan, I had to pick him up.
Pulls this one out every time.
Yeah, I had to pick Dan up because his van was in for an MOT. So I was an apprentice at the time. Dan was a gas engineer. Went to his house, picked him up, went to a job in Kingston upon Thames, put his toolbox down like this. And he went, "What are you doing? What are you dropping my toolbox for?" And I was, oh, wow. And you know, here we are now, 22 years later, and still working with each other, still doing similar things than we've done a while back. But obviously now the world's changed. We started as gas engineers. Both myself and you have leveled up as tradesmen.
Yep.
Both learnt skills along the way.
Different skills as well.
Yeah, so here we are. So basically I wanted to do some questions and answers with yourself.
Yeah.
Right, numero uno, Dan. Yeah? Now, I'm going to get straight to it, right? As a gas engineer, what is the most important thing to have as van stock?
What, one individual thing? I'd say there's two, and that's an analyzer and a U-gauge, personally.
That's a tool, though. Van stock.
Van stock.
And this is on the spectrum of, like, installation, breakdown, servicing, repairs, something you should have on your van. It can't be a tool.
Yeah, but
It's
then
van
van
stock.
stock. Be 100 things, that.
No, only one.
Don't know, you got me on that.
Do you know what I said it was?
Go on.
Do you remember the big nappies at British Gas?
The drain down nappies.
Yeah, and I said, the thing is, I said, we don't use them because they're too expensive, man. So I was like, now...
But they're great because they
towels.
hold 25 litres of water.
Is that what it is? 25
Yeah, 25
litres?
litres, the ones
Wow.
we used to get. Literally, you could pour a whole bucket on and it just swells.
Is that 25 litres?
Well, it's 12. But I'm pretty certain on the packaging it says 25.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was what I said. But if not, I think towels. I think towels are quite important. Not as stock, but to have like...
See, mine naturally, now you're saying it, mine would be a rubble sack.
Yeah. Rubber
Because I
sacks are
swear by a
important.
rubble sack. Whereas now, since I've been working with you, you're like, you need a wet vac.
Yeah.
And I'm like, still in my head, I'm like, I'm going in with a rubble sack. That
Yeah,
catches
that's
anything.
old school.
Dirt, water, rubbish, it's good for everything. It's just needed.
There was a plumber yesterday, a jobbing plumber that we were doing a podcast with. I was like, what's your like favourite tool? He was like, wet vac. And I was like, what one do you use? I was like, I've got a wet vac called Charles.
Yeah.
2017, I've had him, a Henry, but like the wet and dry version. And this chap was like, yeah, no, my one's a Wix one. I was like, they're the best ones because they obviously like you can use them
blow
to
as
like
well.
blow stuff away. Yeah. So what is the, excuse my French, what's the shittest boiler on the market?
Shit. Remaha?
I don't think Rymah's that bad.
They're shit. You need
They've gone bust now, haven't they?
Yeah, but
They're
you need
owned-
an
they're owned by
engineer. You
Baxi
need an
now.
engineering degree to set them things up with all the parameters and
They had
things
good
like that.
flow rates though. Them
Yeah, they're
first
good,
combis,
but they're
the
just-
Vantas, I think they're called.
They're just so unreliable.
Are they owned by Baxi now? I think.
Baxi bought them out, but they ain't never.
Broag, that was the commercial brand.
Yeah, they ain't
wasn't it?
never be pre-producing them because they started as a commercial boiler and wanted to get into domestic, didn't they?
What was the boilers back in the day that used to always leak when you would touch them?
Ideal response. Sonia Deval.
Sonia Deval.
You used to just stare at them and there'd be one little leak,
Yeah.
and then it'd just pour out for some reason.
Now, I remember a few of my very first jobs as a gas engineer. Do you know what? There's a guy in the audience who always kicks off about sounds. Yeah, he always kicks off. Like, so if you put your drink down...
He was just telling me about
you
it.
put your drink down like that, and he puts his hand out and says, "You can't do that." And then there he is, squirreling around, changing...
Let me show you. Let me show you. Right? I'm coming in now. Put that on.
It is exactly what
What
he
is
was
that?
talking to me about outside.
Right, you ready?
That is annoying.
Whereas that's just, you can hear it, but
Okay, so do your thing that you were just squirreling about doing. Yeah, I can't hear anything. Oh, hang on, I did hear that one. Okay, so your gas, I feel like I know a lot of what you've done before. You've done landscape gardening
Yeah.
originally.
Worked on a golf course, greenkeeper.
So when you left school,
Yeah.
what did you do first? The landscaping or?
They used to make blinds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my uncle owns master blinds. So I went
Good
and
little
worked-
shout out to your uncle.
I don't really talk to him, so that makes no difference to me.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I went and worked there for a year, then went to work on a golf course.
What golf course was that?
Cuddington.
Oh, okay.
But that was great. But it was just, the longer I was there, the more I was realising it weren't for me. So then
Must be a peaceful job, but I suppose you probably got bored,
it's
right?
just early mornings and being young, like 16, 17,
Yeah.
going out and then having to be at work.
Which
at
is
5
weird because you're an
o'clock in the
early
morning.
bird now.
Yeah. Well, I was then, but I was able to multitask and like do the social things and still be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, went from there and then went and done grass cutting for the council. And then
Now, how did you get into British Gas?
just through a random phone call.
Really?
Yeah. An employment agency, not a careers office, sorry, rang me up and said we just had vacancies come up for apprenticeships with British Gas.
Mate, there's kids out there that would give
I'd dream of it
so
now.
much to get that.
So hard to get. But prior to that, the thing that made me want to do it was I just found out that my wife was pregnant. So it's like, right, now I need to knuckle down and concentrate a little bit, build a future.
And how did you get told that you were going to become a dad?
I don't know, to be fair, I think we was just together and she just done a pregnancy test. So it was a nice, thoughtful thing, but I think she might have done a couple prior before telling me and then done one show.
And what was your reaction? Because you were young.
I was just excited.
Were you
Because
not
it's-
scared?
Nah, because it's bringing another life. I'm bringing another me into the world sort of thing.
And she is another you.
Yeah, 22
man.
years down the line.
Crazy, man.
A 22-year-old.
Yeah, and when I first met Dan, his 22-year-old was tiny. And his 22-year-old worked with us for a while.
Yeah.
When Sarah told me she was pregnant, it was a stressful day in the office, and Sarah just threw a pregnancy test at me. And I thought it was a COVID test. I'm not joking.
positive.
I was like, yeah, I am very positive. Yeah, thanks for that, mate. I appreciate it. She's, I need to isolate. I need you to stay away for a couple of days.
Ask Dan obviously about what some of the best, obviously some of the worst jobs that have been carried out and why, and what's he learned from.
Yeah. So Dan, you're obviously you've been into thousands of homes like myself doing random stuff. What is, from memory, one of the worst jobs that you've done? Not obviously from a workmanship side of things or anything like that. No skill set involved. Just like it could be the fact there was no parking. It could be the customer was horrible. Customer drank tea in front of you and didn't offer you a cup of tea. It could be anything.
I went into a house in Wimbledon, big house. Person in there was just a hoarder, but she had 3 leaks on radiators
Yeah.
that you just couldn't access.
Is it the Belmont Rad Valves, by any chance?
No, it was British Gas rad valves, thermostatic ones, but you just couldn't get to them. You had to literally ferry through dog mess, cat mess, all just on the floor. And it was just like, how far do I go without turning around going, I can't physically go in there any further.
I think we've had scenarios like that at work recently, and I think if you go to a place, it's because it's your working environment.
Yeah.
You should just say straight away, it's not a nice place to work, and just bomb the job, innit?
Yeah, but it was an old couple, and you do try and be a little benefit of the doubt sort of scenario. So you do try your best, but there are limits where you just sort of like think, hold on, I've got to just stop because it's not, like the air you're breathing just isn't nice.
Some customers, I think, when I worked at British Gas, they wouldn't even say hello. Door opened.
Yeah, boilers
Just-
that way.
Yeah, and like a dog, just
Yeah.
that way. You know what I mean? And that to me, I didn't necessarily like. But I think with that, it's a different, like what we do now when we work for a customer, they're paying for the time.
Paying for a service at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So,
and I think with British Gas, because they're on a monthly thing, that they just pay.
and expect.
Exactly. They're like, do you mean that it needs to be fitted now? It's
Yeah.
like, well, you know, they can't get the part for whatever reason. No, get me onto your manager. I'll get this, that, and the other. It was quite a demanding scenario, actually.
They just
thinking
expect
back.
everything for nothing, realistically,
Yeah, yeah.
and push
yeah.
boundaries. Whereas when you work independently, so to speak, people are more appreciated. You've kind of gone out of your way to go to them, so they're more grateful.
That's why I like working Like, I think Saturdays, when you work on a Saturday, people are so much nicer.
Oh yeah, but they're calmer because they've not got the stress of school runs. They're not
Yeah,
working. They're
yeah.
just there.
Good
They've
point.
had time to chill out.
Yeah,
That's how
good
I.
point.
Well, that's kind of if I'm not working, that's what I'm doing.
Because
even
obviously
though-
you do quite a lot of call-outs, and I think even on the call-outs, like after 5, thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for coming. What do you mean?
Just
No
grateful.
problem. Yeah,
you don't even have to
on a
ask for
Monday,
a cup
you
of
never
tea.
get
They're
that.
instantly, do you want a coffee? Do you want a tea? Like
Yeah.
instant before you've even done anything.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I think getting offered a tea or coffee, as a tradesperson, is one of the nicest things that
It's
you
kind
can
of like
get.
you're welcome. The
Yeah.
customer's already got a little bit of trust in you when they're willing to make you a cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
How do you take the tea?
Milk and 1 sugar
No, that's 2 sugars.
before 12.
Really?
2 sugars before 12.
2 sugars before 12, 1
sugar
after.
And how do you take your coffee?
Milk and 1.
So you have milk and 1 in both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Apart from tea, that's 2 sugars till 12.
I used to have tea with 2 sugars. I don't think I've had a tea for a good 6 months
I
now.
don't think you're a tradesman unless you have a tea.
You've got to have a cup of tea.
Oh, listen. I think black coffee, is the only way to drink coffee, right? And I
A
think
customer can't go wrong with that. Whereas when you ask for tea now with customers, it's instant. How do you like your tea?
So you can
Normally
so
you'd
easily
ask,
mess up
how
heat
do you
tea,
like
though.
your coffee? Milk, 1 sugar. Cup of tea, they like. Do you like it weak, milky, medium,
Yeah.
builders? I didn't know there was that many variations. Just
You can
give me a
easily
cup
mess
of
up a
tea.
tea.
Tea chart. That's how that works.
It's like going to get your teeth whitened, and how dark do
Yeah,
you
how many
want them?
shades?
Yeah.
The thing is, sometimes it's hard to get the tea mix correct because you've got to have the right size cup or mug, haven't you? But with coffee, coffee should be served just with coffee, no milk. Genuinely, I think you mess coffees up by putting milk and sugar in.
I don't know.
I'm telling you. And I don't think coffee should also be drunk cold. That's weird.
That's refreshing.
But I love the nice coffee.
Does she? Do you know what? Maybe I should look into
Have
that.
you tried them?
Ish. But
You
then I
ain't-
didn't
you've
like
not
coffee
tried
ever.
them. You've not
No,
tried
I
a
have
proper
I have-
iced coffee,
I have
have you?
tried it. I tried it in Vegas because you had them with all the ice in there from Starbucks. I thought it was a milkshake, but then maybe that's why I didn't like it because my expectations was a nice cold milkshake and it was like a cold coffee. So, but going on from this then, a perfect job I think for me, if I was a jobbing plumber on an everyday basis, would be just to fit boilers. I would just want to fit boilers, and that would be that. The reason being is I think it's nice to get there, roll out your dust sheets, make your little hub, put the radio on, and just crack on. And also, I don't know, I think with it, it's kind of a workout, I suppose, in a weird way. Whereas the breakdowns and the servicing's boring.
Yeah,
And I think the breakdown, so no, I've got the patience
Has
for
the
it.
servicing become more boring though? Because you guys have come from.
not really. It's like I've done boiler servicing.
It has become more boring.
It has.
Yeah, because I remember even when I started off with Ryan, this was 8-10 years ago now. I remember there would always be you'd go out to a service and there'd be components or parts that would be required or
They're obsolete because they're old.
they're old or it'd be more interesting. I found this, I found that. Now it's just you go to a boiler service and because obviously the regulations have tightened up and people have replaced them, it seems like it's always quite smooth sailing, you know? Which is a good thing for
It is, but there was.
homeowners,
I quite enjoyed servicing a back boiler because literally you'd go in, roll out a dust sheet,
And they'd
nice
sit
big
behind
area.
you with the seats on. And it'd be an
Absolutely, but you'd
experience
sit
for them.
there, you'd get a Hoover out, you'd clean it all out. There's job satisfaction in that. A lot of people don't like doing them, but to me, it was just.
Where do you see, for instance, now, tools have definitely got better since me and you started out. So, now, if I was going to service a back boiler or, an old school appliance, I would have a little magnet, a little ashtray.
Yeah.
Just chuck all the screws
Yeah,
in
because
there
there's
so you
always
don't lose
700
them.
screws that
Yeah.
you've got to take off just to get to one part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is good new boilers because you've only got a handful of screws, just take them off, put them to one side, or the cases are just clip on, clip off.
What's your favourite boiler brand?
Ideal.
Yeah, you've always said that. Didn't you do a spell at Ideal for a
Yeah,
bit?
worked with them for a year.
Yeah, mate.
But I watched them build the
you're
Ideal
bang on
Logic.
Ideal, aren't you?
I watched them make the Ideal Logic. So that was that's my go-to boiler.
Yeah.
Because
And they
it's
have a
middle
few-
of the range.
And they also have top of the range Ideals, don't they? They have the
Well, they've
Plus.
got the Vogue.
What do they have? The Logic Plus, and then I think
Logic
it's the
Max.
Logic, and then they've got all these other ones that the independent merchants.
Yeah,
Basic
you've
Badge,
got all them, but they're not. They're all
independent.
they're
and-
pretty much all the same boiler, but it's no different to you've got all your valence and then you've got glower.
Yeah.
It's a Glowworm R.
I don't know what
mimic of-
boiler brand I actually like now. I think it's a price thing now. I think like
Well, that's why I go with Ideal, because it's bang in the middle of the
And they
range. The
give
warranty
good
is great on
warranties,
it
yeah.
all year round. There's no fluctuations in this
Yeah.
this time of year. It's 5 years.
so
Guaranteed.
what boiler have you got at your house?
Worcester.
Have you?
I despise them, but it was free, so
We've got a Worcester actually. It's an oil boiler, but I haven't even
Serviced
looked
it
at
yet?
it. You know more about it than I do, Mum. I'm probably, man.
Let me ask you guys a couple of other questions then. So obviously talking about boilers and stuff, like you guys have both trained in an era where it's like heavy on the diagnostics because the boilers needed it more.
yeah.
Nowadays boilers, like even from the office, I can kind of give you like a list of maybe 4 things it could be from the boiler and
Yeah.
less to see. So what do you think now in terms of engineers coming through that don't have the training that you guys had and have got more, boilers that are easier? How do they build their ability or their skill? And what should people be investing their training in now? Should it be more plumbing? Should they go more that side or heating diagnostic? What should people be learning and like trying to upskill in? Because boilers kind of seem like they have become so much easier now.
The thing is with new boilers now is I'd recommend taking full concentration on when manufacturers are offering days training. They don't cost nothing. Just go and do them, because that's going to then upskill you with all the newer boilers of that particular brand. But you can also take that training to other boilers, because all boilers now all work pretty much exactly the same. They've all set up exactly the same. So I would definitely recommend that. Whereas me and Ryan, we would have been more specific on open fluid appliances. So new engineers coming through now, theoretically, should be a little bit more educated on newer condensing boilers, because we started before condensing boilers come in.
Well, we started before gas safe even come in. It was Corgi,
it was
right?
Corgi.
But I think I actually don't think them courses for people are needed, because I think YouTube you
But
can
for
watch that.
for new starters sort of thing, it's definitely worth it, just to get a little
Yeah.
bit of understanding on
I
boiler
think-
operation.
I think from when I was at British Gas as a breakdown engineer, I didn't know system design. So I only knew actually what happened within the boiler, and I
Yeah.
think it's so scary how I've seen people, they don't actually know what else is going on. And I was talking about this earlier on another podcast, and I was like, and with a cab driver,
Yeah.
like with learning the knowledge, and I was like, for me to wire a central heating system, I can draw it. So if I can draw it, I can wire it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there was an engineer for us recently that I drew out a diagram for him to look at where.
Is that your pipework configuration? Because with that, it's quite straightforward to do. But when it comes to the wiring side of it, you can't. Every wiring system's different, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes it's quicker just to pull it out and start again.
As long as you know where everything's going and you know how to
If you
test
label it all up and
Yeah.
you get a wiring set that's all labelled
That's
up,
what I'd
it's
rather
kind
do.
of
That's
I
how
would
I
do
learned.
that.
I love system wiring.
Yeah. I can't say I love it, but I think I would rather refit it than have to try and muck about.
Yeah, no.
fault
It's always
finding
good
it.
to challenge yourself, though.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I enjoy it. That's the mix of where I am, because
yeah, yeah.
versatile.
Keeps
and
you on your toes, doesn't it? If
But it's
you know,
always
if
a
you get it
different
wrong.
challenge with a system fault. It's
Yeah.
not always straightforward.
Yeah, no, for sure. So plumbing, right?
Yeah,
Me and you are both self-taught plumbing.
yeah.
I hate plumbing.
So do I. Despise it.
Yeah, and for a long time.
Good. Sat with 2
Yeah, but it is
But
what
I do
is.
it because we know how to do it.
Yeah, but other people
But I
love.
wouldn't choose.
Other people love plumbing, and I think plumbing and heating are different. I think heating and gas are different.
Yeah.
Obviously, plumbing and drainage are different. There's 4 categories really that everyone would say. Like, so for a long time, people would say to me, "What are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm a plumber." But that's
I'm a gas
the one
engineer.
thing I'm not. So I think a gas engineer is a breakdown engineer.
Yeah.
I think a heating engineer is an installer.
Yeah.
I think a plumber is a plumber, and obviously, if you really wanted to get a bit more
Hands on.
weird, you could say he's a bathroom fitter.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say
And then you've got a drainage engineer.
I'll say something controversial, but I don't think there's room now for gas engineers. I feel like you've got to be more than a gas engineer now. Because
I agree with you.
gas is something that's so limited, and boilers now are so
I agree with you.
much more simpler. The skills, so I feel like you've got to definitely at least be a gas and heating engineer.
You've got to be versatile.
Gas and heating.
And if me and
Not
Dan didn't
servicing.
take the leap of leaving, you know, a corporate company that ultimately pigeonholed us to be like a quick fit fitter, we would still be repairing boilers, and that's all we would have ever known.
It's already-
We wouldn't have
yeah.
even known how to fit a boiler because they didn't teach us how to do that. And to be honest with you, Dan taught me how to fit boilers because we would do it on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, because we didn't, and you probably learnt that from an older person.
No, well, I spent 7 months working with an older bloke at British Gas.
Yeah.
All I'd done was long duration work.
Yeah.
How do you think we can upskill people now then? Because obviously
I
apprenticeships
don't think
aren't
you can
around.
upskill people unless they want to be upskilled. Like, so you need
Yeah,
to
it's
have
choices.
someone. Yeah, someone has to want to upskill. So for me, I would go back and watch videos. You need to want to learn. You can't be, can't be taught. Someone can't be taught unless they want to listen and learn. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, you can tell someone who wants to learn because they stand and they badger you consistently. What are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Questioning everything you're doing.
And it doesn't take long to learn.
Yeah,
if you apply yourself.
It may get annoying because you kind of want to just go and sit over there or something and
Yeah.
just get on. But it's the only way you learn. That I used to do it. And then by that time, they get so fed up with you asking the questions that they go, do it.
Yeah.
So you then get thrown in, so then you've got to do it. So yeah, it is.
It's a shame though at the minute from what like I've had some very, very, very good apprentices throughout the last, let's say, 15 years, and I've also seen a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
That I don't know what it is, and it could be the fact that, maybe it's the fact that the people I'm bringing on at times, but they don't want to do the job. You know what I mean? And the thing is, they I don't know, it could be because of like the world's changed. And it could be mobile phones that are a different thing now. They weren't as smart mobile phones when we were apprentices. You still had them. But
a lot of it, I'd put it down to, is people see gas, heating, plumbing engineers earn X amount of £1,000 a week. So naturally everyone wants to do it. That's why, to me, the industry is just swamped.
Do you know what though? I don't think there's that many people doing apprentices.
No, not apprenticeships.
Like
no,
they
you've
did
got people
before.
going through doing 2-week crash courses.
I don't think that's happening as much either.
I've
It
met
is, is it?
several people
Really?
in the last month that have just done a 2-week crash course. Now,
And they will crash because of that.
I don't know how on earth it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, we done a short course at British Gas though. It was about a
It
year
was
or
still
so,
a,
wasn't
it's
it?
still a year, yeah. It's a lot less than what a normal
But it
apprenticeship.
was college 6 weeks and then
But that's the thing,
on the
you're
tools
doing-
for 6 weeks. So you could put.
You're doing in-house,
Put it in.
out-house training, so you should be able to do it quickly.
Yeah.
But it's just then understanding the fundamentals of all the safety aspects of it.
But I agree with you. Just being a boiler breakdown engineer, I think you need more. You need to add more skills to skill set is if you are doing that. And I do think you'll get caught out with time if you can only fix boilers or you can only fit boilers. Then my advice to anyone would be go and learn.
Yeah.
Like go and upskill. And it doesn't take that long. 3-4 months, I reckon, of a bit of.
Well, even just the odd
Head
day
down,
here and there,
listen,
just going out, spending some time with either breakdown engineers, bathroom fitters. If you're an installer, then it's ideal to go and start installing.
I think even bathrooms, though, again, bathroom and plumbing. Plumbing's hard. Bathrooms are hard. To first fix a bathroom, to get it bang on, is precision. You know
You've got
what
to
I
have
mean?
a bit of perfection within inside your mind to do it.
And you need to know a bit more than just running pipes because you need to then know the millimetres of where the boarding needs to be, the adhesive, the tiles.
Maybe become an expert in something, like whether that's maintenance, whether that's installation, whether obviously if you're an expert in one thing, that's going to stand you in good stead. And then
We've
add
done
to
some
that.
weapon bathrooms at Rygroup.
Yeah.
Like there's bathrooms and then there's bathrooms,
But that's the thing, it's good to be able to do that because you can go in and do your everyday bathroom in a little 3-bed house and then you've always got that capability of doing big elaborate bathrooms in big houses.
So what about refurbishments? Do you like doing them?
I prefer it because you're doing a mix of everything. You're not just limited to, right, you can just get on with a boiler.
And it's nice also to see other tradesmen.
You're not working on your own. You've got 3 or 4 other people. So you've got a bit of company. You can have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
But you then amaze yourself as to how much work you can actually get done when there's a group of you.
If you've got the right team,
But it can
all
also
the right direction.
do the opposite thing. Whereas if you've got the wrong types, you then find yourself doing shed loads and then...
But there's normally though the majority wins. So if you've got 5 or 6 good lads and you've got 1 or 2 toe rags, normally the toe rags just get forced out of the team.
Well, yeah, they're just doing the clear up all the time, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's how I look at them.
Yeah, and what I think as well, which is quite good, is if you get a big refurb on and you get like a really good team on it, you start seeing people with new boots or like new stuff. Because people see that, go, I like them. So it actually costs people money.
You don't see no one, and then you sort of like, you meet up, you're like, Where'd you get
Where'd you
them
get them from? Yeah, they go straight to my basket. That's what
Instantly, and
happens.
then I think I was working on a job in Kensington, and the electrician had these boots on that just looked comfy as hell. I was like, let me try one of them on.
Talking about them boots, yeah.
Little zip down the side.
Are they wide fit? 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried them on and they're really wide, man.
Yeah, but they're great for the winter. Thick pair of socks and you're laughing. But
Yeah.
they're quick on and off shoes, and
Yeah.
they're comfy.
I like the
What brand are they, guys?
I
on.
want to
Steel
say they're
blue
blue
or something, blue
either
steel.
blue steel or steel blue.
And there's another one. There's another one that's quite similar to it, but I like Chelsea boots. I don't like the laces. I think they're called
Find some-
dealer boots, the ones that I
Yeah.
like. But I
I've-
tried
I've
them
got-
on recently. They were too thin, them DeWalt ones.
I've got them as well, but I like to have that
I think
variety.
them ones are called they're Apache. Them ones are they?
Apache.
Yeah, they're good. They are.
They are good. They're comfortable.
Their work trousers and their work tops are banging.
Yeah, don't
and
know.
they're cheap as well. They're good value for. The only thing with them, they make them only brown, don't they? They're
Yeah.
Like, I
I
want
would like a nice pair of
man.
black,
yeah,
pair of black Chelsea boots.
yeah,
You hear that, Father Christmas?
yeah. See, like these, I love these. Yeah, they're DMs, Dr. Martens, and they weren't expensive, and they're the bollocks. I've worn them every day, within reason, most weekends. Not every day, but most weekends for about 3 years,
Yeah.
and they still look brand new, man.
They're comfortable. It's like anything. You look after something, they look after you.
Yeah,
within
that's it,
reason,
mate.
isn't it?
There's a thing for me that I'm always love and hate, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I've been on the tools, I'm then like, I can't wait to get off them and then, go and quote or survey or estimate or even go in the office. And then
Yeah.
like, when I've done too much of that, I'm then like, I want to go back on the tools again. But the balance is good to be able to do both, right? Being the fact that you originated as a tradesperson,
Yeah.
and then you've done a long time off the tools and more sort of surveying or quoting jobs or even clearing up scenarios of engineers' notes and
Yeah.
ordering their parts. What have you noticed from being at times off the tools and from watching what other
When
engineers
you're off the
do?
tools, and it gives you a little bit more of an understanding how other people operate. So you've got engineers that, when you're getting reports back, are very brief, and you're then having to chase them. What are you trying to explain? So that wastes a load of time.
The communication's massive, isn't it, man?
It's key. You don't need I don't need a full essay,
Yeah.
but just bullet point.
We were
the
talking
issues.
earlier on to an estate agent, and they use a contractor, and on the job notes it said that the washing machine's leaking, and the contractor's gone round there, tightened the washing machine up, not looked anywhere else, and it was the dishwasher leaking. But I mean, like, they are scenarios that happen with people, right?
You've got to be a bit observant.
Yeah, you've got to do your own diagnostics and not just listen to what someone else
Yeah.
has said before they get there.
But I think it's nice to have a break from when you're working. I've been working on tools for 20 odd years.
Yeah,
So then going into an office, it's like I might as well just be a newbie, because there is then another level of learning that you have to do.
yeah.
Because you've got to understand software, you've got to understand different protocols like
And cases and thing,
invoicing,
innit?
jobs and things like that. And it's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There is no one can deny that. It's 100 miles an hour.
I think though the thing is with it, from being someone on the tools all the time, I think it's so good. And again, I was talking to an electrician that's also got a green badge as a black cabbie.
Yeah.
To have Plan B when someone hasn't got their physical health,
Yeah.
and to be able to step back if someone was injured or someone, their back or their knees. And
Again,
like
it's
that.
another one of them. You have an
As we all
accident.
get older
you
as
have
well.
an accident at work. You've got that little fallback, so you haven't got to be without.
Or an accident
work
on a
or
Sunday
anything.
afternoon or whatever,
That's
playing
the thing.
football. You know what I mean?
Too
Yeah.
old for that now.
Yeah, I've stopped playing Sunday football, mate.
As much as I'd love to.
I stopped playing Sunday football when I realised that the lad on the pitch, I was old enough to be his dad. Like, mate, go home, Ryan. Do you remember Sister? Go home, Roger. Go home, Ryan. Go and be with your family and stop running around.
That's it.
with
Sundays
loads of
are
young
family
men.
days, mate.
Mate, 100%. For me, Sunday's my real day off.
Yeah.
That you'd like to think on a Sunday, everyone knows it's a Sunday, whereas Saturday's still kind of. And it's
Saturday's
only crept up
a
in the last...
working day again.
That's in the only last 5 years, I think, that
Yeah.
Saturday's a working day, yeah.
But Sunday's slowly creeping in the same way now. It's like, who wants to go shopping on a Sunday?
Yeah.
I'd rather be at home having a nice relaxing
You
day
know
or
what,
going
mate?
out for a nice walk.
Shopping overwhelms me, man. But I did go into Kingston the other day to Apple, and on a Monday it was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the day to go shopping's a Monday, man.
It's 'cause no one's got
But
money left.
he's nodding, mate. It's the first time he's agreed with me. The real question is, right now, your current power tool,
Yeah.
are they uniformed as in one brand, or are they all different?
No, one brand.
And the brand is...
Makita.
Are you Makita, are
Yeah.
you?
I transferred,
Well, what, you were DeWalt, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then my DeWalt's failed me after 10 years. So I thought now's time to try something different.
Makita, yeah.
Biggest
So
regret
weirdly...
of my life.
Oh, what? Makita's no good?
No, I've gone through several combi drills.
Yeah, you haven't replaced one, have you?
No.
So we're going to have to get Dan a Makita combi for Christmas for coming on here. Makita, if you're watching, give the man a combi drill. You owe him about 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was going to say I would probably maybe go to Makita, but now that you said that, I probably won't. But
I mean,
but listen, I've had loads of DeWalts that have like mugged me off. I've got a DeWalt pressure washer that just died on me.
Yeah.
And then the thing is,
Say never blame your tools, guys. Not gonna.
yeah, but listen,
bad workman always blames his
but
tools.
what I find with some of these warranties or guarantees, which I think there's a difference between a guarantee and a warranty, is unless you register them, majority of people get it out of the box and the box goes in the bin,
Yeah.
and you don't ever register it.
Well, majority of the time, you look at how much something costs and you think, oh, if it sees me out a year,
Yeah. I bought pressure wash, DeWalt pressure wash, and it never worked, man. So how are you getting away without your combi drill then?
because I've now found hex drill bits that go in my impact driver that work perfect. So all you've got to make sure you do is got plenty of batteries charged. Done.
And what gas analyzer is your go-to?
I've forgotten the name of it. Testo.
Oh, wow. That
I'm
sounded
just-
really strange then. Oh, wow. I like Kane.
I don't know. I was Anton for ages.
So was I, but I kept on having them break on me. In the van, if you don't bring them in, they just kept
They
on...
get cold.
Yeah, they
remember
just kept
that
on going
from
wrong.
British Gas years.
Yeah. I do like TPI as well, but they're
Yeah.
quite basic, I think. But they
No,
seem
it's
to
just
be...
like
a bit
Testo is
bulletproof.
just great because you've got so many different products that you can have with it.
So going back a little bit, you said U-gauge. Do you still do tightness testing from a U-gauge?
Yeah, it's the only way. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Yeah.
That I see a lot of people do it digitally.
Yeah,
That's great if you keep it calibrated,
yeah.
but
So what U-gauge do you have?
just a bog basic one.
You know what brand it is?
Enter E or something.
Because then the British Gas ones are the best ones.
Yeah, you can't get
And
them.
then
You
you
can't
get
just buy them.
Yeah, and then you get a little stand on them, don't you?
Yeah,
That
that's
twist
it.
around.
You get the
Yeah.
little thing that you just slide
If
back
anyone
in,
knows who
twist it up.
manufactures them,
So if anyone knows who
Well, they're white and red,
manufactures
aren't they?
the U-gauges for British Gas, let us know. The British Gas toolboxes, they were banging, weren't they?
They were the best toolbox around.
Are they around?
every engineer wanted one.
Yeah.
If-
To use as a ladder or a pair of steps.
yeah, because you didn't need to take steps in with you. It was enough just to get you up another foot.
Jesus, man, toolboxes have changed.
I won't use one now. I like a backpack.
Tool bag, yeah.
Backpack. I
Yeah.
never use a tool bag, it's a backpack. Because you put a backpack on, you've got 2 more hands. You can then carry even more stuff. Well, you have,
So-
theoretically. You carry a bag.
So you have a Stanley, don't you?
Well, I did. It's fouled on me.
Yeah, they break a lot, man.
Yeah, but what do you expect for 60 quid?
Yeah,
I've got to stop being so tight and venture into a more expensive tool bag.
yeah. I mean,
But I won't do it. I can't justify 280 quid for a tool bag.
And the thing is with it as well is the thing is that the warranties are good on them, though, man.
Yeah,
Your
but-
lifetime warranty.
if there was one regulation in gas or plumbing that should be a regulation but isn't, what would it be?
I know what Dan's gonna say. Dan's gonna say, yeah, get rid of crash courses.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Do hours. Like you've got to probably have a certain amount of
You
proved
think kids,
time before
kids
you
going,
become gas
well, you
safe
got to think
registered.
kids going through college, starting like it's like I got a son 17 going through college. Now he's got to do level 1 plumbing, level 2 plumbing, level 3. That's 3 years there before they even get considered to be put onto their gas. So why is everyone else able to just go? I'm just going to go and pay 1,500, $2,000 to go and do a
But
crash
the
course.
thing is, though, with the guys doing crash courses, obviously, people that are watching or listening to this probably won't like the fact that people speak negative of doing it, right? But there is a safety concern there. If they don't get the right hours or time underneath their belt, they could royally do something wrong, yeah? But there's a lot of private colleges that are the people that are doing the crash courses because it's some money thing, you know what I mean? Especially with the electrical industry as well. Like, the gas industry...
Well, I understand is in my head, a crash course is good for someone who's been plumbing for 20 years. They know a majority of stuff anyway. They just don't know their gas.
Crash course in plumbing, I don't think is that bad, but the crash course on electrics and gas, I think, is not.
Yeah, but I'm on about if you've done a crash course in gas and you've been a plumber for 20 years and thought, I fancy going to do my gas, that's not an issue to me, but it's people who have done nothing and then think they can then, in 2 weeks,
They'll
a
start
month,
off with servicing.
become a gas engineer.
Because there's certain basics you learn from the plumbing, like how to...
It is very different though. Gas safety is different, man, in plumbing, unfortunately, because...
Well, yeah, it is
You
quite
need to
negative, but I've worked hard and I've done it all the correct way. I done an apprenticeship with British Gas.
Yeah.
Yes, I know not everyone gets one, but I was fortunate enough to have one.
You must have put your number somewhere to get that, though.
Well, no, because as a kid, I always wanted to work.
Yeah.
Like, I was knocking on people's doors, selling double glazing at the age of 14. So I always had that drive to want to work. So I would have just gone round the minute I left school, went to a careers office. They would have asked some questions. I'd have said, I'd do anything that earns me money. So when an opportunity like that comes up,
Where was your interview, Mitcham?
Yeah.
Same as mine.
Yeah, it was Mitcham. But training in Leeds.
Yeah, that must.
But if I'm honest, I was doing landscape gardening whilst going through the process. And when they actually rung me up to say you got the job, I actually turned around and said I don't want it
Yeah, I remember you telling me this.
because I was happy doing what I was doing. But
then you
then
had
a few weeks later, all the train tickets, paperwork, everything comes. So I was like, someone's telling me I've got to do it.
Yeah. Sweet, man. So the next time we'll be seeing you on camera, Dan, is
Yeah.
to do tool reviews.
Yeah,
And we are going to be testing everything from lawnmowers
yeah.
to chainsaws to, you know what, impact drivers. Dan's going to be going head to head with a Makita impact driver. And if the Makita wins, you can have it. No, isn't it? You've got an
I've
impact
got
driver.
Makita.
You need a drill driver.
Combi drill.
Combi
I don't
drill.
need a combi drill. I've got everything I need with my little impact. I just need a more improved impact driver now.
Or a spare one in case that
Yeah,
one goes.
so I just need 2 of them, then I'm loaded.
Well, mate, it's been good to talk to you on camera.
perfect,
We're going
mate.
to do it more. Thank you, guys. It's a good night from us. We're all tired and it's bedtime. We've got to go back and see the kids. So good night.